What is up, everybody? Tip Tips Podcast back at you again. Brand new motherfucking episode, and we're in the studio this time. So shout out to Milka, aka Tree Barber. Go check her out on Instagram. We're at the Elevated Barbershop. But I'm here with my co-host as well, as always, my fucking partner in crime. And today we have I think this is going to be a good one. We're going to fucking take a nosedive into something that I've been pretty interested in. I'm sure Brett's been interested in, and I know I've talked to a few people that have asked about this episode coming out. So here we are. And Brett, do you want to tell them what we're going to talk about today? I'll let you do the introduction into the topic.
All right. Well, we have some guests over here. I know Hector from work, Hector Beltran, and then his partner in crime is Eric Salinas. And these guys are real life Bigfoot hunters.
Yeah.
Is that the right term? Bigfoot hunters? Is that what you're called? Or?
What's the title? Yeah.
We're really hunting, more researching. Yeah. You know, we're not out there to hurt them. We're there to interact with them. That's what we're there to do.
You're there. Okay. You're there to interact.
Basically,
okay.
observe and report.
Observe and report. Okay. So it's like on a scientific level then. So you guys are you're not hunting per se, but you're documenting your experiences. You're out and you're interacting
Right.
with this. What is Bigfoot? I mean, what is this whole thing?
Well, he's big, he's scary, and he likes apples.
Likes apples.
Likes apples.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying he, but
There is females also, because there was juveniles involved, so you can't have juveniles without the females.
Of course.
do the females wear clothes?
I'll let you know when we see them.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about like your first trip out, right? I've had the liberty to get your research that you put together, and so I've been reading about all of your guys' trips out, and so just start from the top. Start from the very beginning. What got you into it, and then what you saw.
When I came from Arizona, I was already interested in it, and I just couldn't find the time to do any research. So I did some research for 2 years, following the BFRO map clusters. The Mountain Loop Highway seemed to be the most popular place, the most active sites. So I started there. A couple of friends from work helped me with, finding the first place where I wanted to launch my expedition. And so the first one was so-so, but the second one, I was with Andy, and we stumbled upon a place that looked really good. So Eric came up from Arizona early September of that year, and then September 21st of 2016, we did our first expedition, which proved to be a hair raiser.
Yeah, that was exciting.
And so, was there any reason why you chose September, or?
Well, I'd been planning this for a while, and I wanted to get, to start getting my equipment out there and testing it and see what I needed to fix and, get the bugs out. The first time we were so unprepared, it was like pathetic.
I forgot the roof
of
our tent.
What?
And we forgot the roof of the tent.
Oh,
it was over to cover us, so we had to use
pouring rain.
It was pouring rain.
Oh shit.
Okay, and so pouring rain.
Yeah.
So how do you know where a good spot is to look for Bigfoot?
Signs.
And what are those signs?
Pyramids, just a lot.
Why don't you show them some of the pictures, that way. Yeah, the tree structures is the start.
Okay.
And
it's
once
close to the road?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes they're close to the road. When you start seeing the tree structures, and then they start getting more intricate and they start getting more complicated. And then if you go in there, you'll see that they start stacking the logs on top of each other and then making squares.
And you have a term for that. What is that term?
This is a theory, but we call it the kill box. We think that when it snows, it covers up these things, and they kind of like corral the deer into a certain spot, and then somebody
It makes a lot of sense.
Takes it
all
out.
around it for about a quarter mile is gridded trees.
Right.
Trees
And then
don't fall that way, and
then
don't
they
break
suspend
themselves
them.
into a point.
and then they'll suspend them like 5 feet high, and then they'll crisscross them. And I got lots of documentation of the pictures. As a matter of fact, when I was in Montana snowmobiling, I stumbled across some stuff that piqued my interest, and I did take pictures.
And that was
of it.
just for vacation.
Yeah. No,
So okay, so the pictures,
Damn.
and this is touch screen too. So if you see, you can go ahead and touch. So the pictures, I've seen these pictures, and it's so weird because they are you describe them as pyramids, like a pyramid type
structure.
And what's crazy is there's so many of them, and that's so consistent.
And they're everywhere. I mean, you'll see these things pop up in Canada. You'll see them pop up in Washington, California, and in Montana, as I just found out.
So have other people like that are kind of in the same quest as you guys are? Do they talk about this type of stuff, or are you guys like the first ones to bring it up? Like, yo, this is something out of norm.
I've seen it in some documentaries, but they don't really put much emphasis on it.
Okay.
I've seen it, and then like you'll be watching the
Here's an
Bigfoot
example.
documentary,
Okay.
and you'll see these structures while they're talking in the background. You can see them.
Yeah.
And I pick them out right away. And I said,
Wow.
"Look, you don't
Yeah.
want to be
The
here."
pyramids that we found, I found one of a.
Is that the
just
video
a
right there?
broken tree, the whole top of a tree, suspended on
Oh,
another tree, just
that's the
hanging.
cool one.
Oh, no kidding.
I've pushed it, I moved it, and it would not fall off this tree. The
Oh, we
way
got-
they had it.
We got video of that
It's
too.
awesome.
Wow. Okay.
Is that the video right there?
So, like I
this is
said, we'll
a
definitely have to
pyramid.
plug this in on our Instagram page and maybe make some clips of it so people can see it as well. Because I'm fascinated by it already. So it's like
Okay, so-
something I've never
Okay.
seen.
This picture right here is, we call this the original site. So the very first night we were there, at about 12:30, this is what started it all off.
Scary.
About 12:30 at night. Now there were some people down the road. It was a rather large party, and they were making a lot of noise. I think that had something to do with bringing him down.
Oh.
Curious.
Okay, so they're
So they
making
came
a lot of
to
noise.
the party.
Oh yeah.
Well, they heard
They
the
were
noise.
like partying
Loud.
hard. Music. I mean, it was like
They were loud.
hooting, hollering, people having fun.
Okay,
Yeah,
and this
okay.
is about a mile away from us. Okay, so then around 12:30, we started with 2 tree knocks. Didn't think nothing about it. This is our first trip out. We weren't expecting nothing. And I think it was about 1, it was in the documentation, or 1 or 1:30, we heard this big loud crack. And it made my hair stand up. And I remember saying, "They're here."
Yeah.
And from then on, it just took off. I mean, they started coming around the camp and breaking branches around the camp. And
Did you feel like it was an aggressive?
no,
No, I think
We-
it's just marking a
we
boundary
couldn't-
to where we cannot pass.
we couldn't
Okay.
see them. We couldn't see them, but we could hear them moving around in the woods. And finally, it was about 3:30 or so, and it's pouring rain this whole time and just freezing cold. It was about 3:30 when we heard him in a particular place, and we started hitting with a night vision, and Eric was lucky enough to get a shot off, and that was the only time that he ever exposed himself to that night
Only
vision
visual
again.
I've ever.
Really?
So that's why we don't put up the game cameras, because we know they see that beam and they're not going to trust us anymore.
Right
Okay.
And
Okay.
there's the night vision shot right there.
So the night vision, and we'll put this image up on the video portion on YouTube. But basically, what are we seeing?
Okay, this is a mountain, and it just droops down directly to the creek.
Okay.
This is about 9 to 12 feet in the air. Right here, I've panned this twice already because I'm paranoid. I don't want no cougar or bear sneaking up on me because I can't even see my hand in front of my face. I'm scanning, I turn, I look at the road ahead of me, and then I pan back again, and then these giant yellow eyes staring right back at me.
Wow.
you could see
And this is 9 to 12 feet
9 to
tall.
12
you could see
feet
the
tall
shoulder right here,
The shoulder lines are.
and then the head. We do have it drawn out in one of them, but the density, you could see the full, because he's right here. He's behind a lot of
When I
trees. He's
brightened it and
peering
everything,
from
you
behind
can
a
see
tree.
the cone,
All you can see is
conical
the
head,
eyes.
You can see the shoulders. You can see it's,
So-
it's scary.
So the yellow eyes, indicate that they have night vision.
I believe
type.
they could see infrared.
They can see
Because-
infrared. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
When you have a trail camera, they have stories where people put out trail cameras, and these trail cameras will be completely removed and buried somewhere.
And they
if
got-
you don't have a GPS on them, you're never getting your camera.
It shows the thing grabbing the camera, and then it just disappears.
Wow. Okay, so that sort of reminds me of another trip you were on where you were putting the apples out, but you also gave them beef jerky.
Yes.
Do they like beef
you were
jerky?
looking for the beef jerky wrapper, and you found it, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, here's what we did. You can even go to that picture if you want. We put the jerky in a bag and hung it up really high in a tree so nothing else could get
Bag's
it.
right here.
But the Bigfoot.
Above.
At this point, we were
Okay.
still trying to prove that they were Bigfoots. This was the second trip, I believe, wasn't it?
Yes.
I believe it was the second trip. So we hung the jerky way up there.
I had to climb on this stump here and then reach up and put my foot on the first
So we're
stub there
talking about,
just to reach
I don't know,
up
10,
because I
12
want it
feet.
high enough for something. If it's a monster, he's gonna be able to grab that.
Okay. And so when when they got the jerky, you saw that they got the jerky. You were looking for DNA evidence.
We got the bag.
I have the
they
bag.
left the bag.
And I have it wrapped in plastic hanging on my wall right now.
You
It's
haven't been able to test it for DNA though yet.
No, we haven't.
Okay. Okay, that's
I
what
want
I
to
was.
find somebody credible who's not gonna just say, "Oh, this is just an animal. A deer licked it."
Sure.
How is a deer gonna reach 13, 14 feet?
Yeah, it looks like it looks like he bit the bottom off of it, basically.
Bit the bottom of the bag.
Dog off
Yeah.
of it. And
So
we-
what kind of a teeth structure?
It looks basically like something with human teeth, but with canines.
Yeah.
Ripped straight through the bag. The whole bottom of it, and it looks like it has saliva and
That's not mine.
That's mine. Nobody ever calls me.
We'll let that go to
Find these
voicemail.
You got a popular man.
Right.
Finally, somebody calls me.
So you're looking, like you said, you're looking for a credible source to really see if this is something that we don't have no DNA from, like somebody that's going to be legitimately straight up with you. Like,
Yeah.
have there been stories of people try to, like, you know, they may be credible to do the job and see what DNA or what it's from, but like, have they like swept it under the rug and say, nah, this is just something
all the time.
Really?
All the time. They have a documentary. It's called, I believe it's called Chasing Bigfoot.
Okay.
This guy goes all the way up to Siberia where the Yeti is being found. And people have countless, Sherpas are telling the people that there's
Okay.
a Yeti up there. And if anybody's going to know, these guys are up there every single day of their lives.
Wow. Okay.
Well, they had a skull cap, what was presumed to be the top of a Sasquatch. They had a couple of hairs that was, a guy came in there and he asked for a sample of the hairs just so he can have them tested. Well, when they came back, they were trying to tell him it was the top of a yak head. There's no way it was yak hair because when they showed it on the picture, the two fibers were way different from what they look like.
Wow. When was this?
It was on National Geographic not too long ago. I think you can look it up on YouTube.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
So, so one thing that we've seen a lack of is like photographic evidence, and what you're showing us in the previous picture with the yellow eyes. Is that the closest you've got to a photo of Bigfoot?
Yeah, that we
Yes.
know of. We haven't went through all the pictures yet.
Okay.
There was one time when we were in the woods looking for him, and it started getting dark, and the woods were really eerie, quiet. And I even told Eric, man, this is quiet and creepy. It started getting dark, so I said, let's get out of here before it gets dark. So we're pretty far in there.
No gun.
We start wandering back,
weapons at this
getting
time.
back to the trail to where the truck is, and we come to the trail, and there was a sapling type tree. It was not a small tree. Pull that up. And he had yanked it out of the ground, twisted
Twisted it at top.
it on top, and put it on our trail. Put it on the
Just to see
trail.
how hard it was to take one of these.
My
out of the
hair stood up. I said, let's get the hell out of these woods. Where's the whiskey?
Where's that?
At
Where's
the
the
time,
whiskey?
I was like 270 pounds, and I walked up to these little saplings, and this sapling's no bigger than my wrist.
The video's
Yeah.
better because you
So I
can see me
grabbed-
moving in the
I
root ball
grabbed
and everything.
The sapling that's in the ground, and I try my hardest to pick it up and
And the
pull it
thing
out of the
is-
ground. It would not budge.
The
So
thing
I
is
tried
that
to break
this snap right here, is twisted.
Yeah. Wow. So I
It's
tried
not
to mimic
snapped,
it
it's twisted.
as high as I can.
Oh my God.
It wouldn't snap.
So that tree,
It would bend to where it would touch itself,
Yeah.
but it would not snap.
so that tree before, like, so you're meaning to tell us that
That's
this wasn't in your
wild.
trails?
No.
before.
Just
No.
walked through there to get into the woods to take a walk to see if we could find anything else.
Yeah,
Did you hear it happen?
No.
No.
You didn't even hear it happen.
Didn't hear it, didn't smell it. This thing was watching us the whole time we were in there. That's why the woods
And he
was so
must have
damn
did it
quiet.
like with his thumb because it was like so quiet.
And it was, the break was easily about this high over my head. So, this thing was
And the
pretty
way,
big.
if you look right here, it's not
Twisted.
snapped like this. It was twisted, and you'd have to get a grip from here and here at the tallest point of that and the lowest point.
And it was like a portable boundary marker. Basically,
tried. It was
basically
hard.
what he's telling us here is get out of my woods.
Yeah.
Oh, he wants you out
So
because of the aggression.
No, there's no aggression. This is just it's just
He
an
thinks we're
invisible
intruding.
sign.
Okay.
I'm watching you. I know you're in my woods. Get out.
Before
would-
that, we went there. There was a bunch of trash laying in the
Now this
area
was
where
the
we-
original site where he originally broke the tree,
This
right?
Okay,
one, right?
okay.
This one right
So
here.
that's the trail going into that trail is going
This part.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the
that's
trail
where you
going
set the
into
apples.
this.
That's
Right.
going into there.
So
Okay.
So that boundary marker is about 20 feet this way, right by the road.
Okay.
Right on the
Okay.
trail. where my
at the
truck
edge
was
of the
parked.
little road, the dirt road and the forest, where the
Right.
forest meets.
So
That's
this is
where-
when we're
right in our
first
path.
starting to get a rapport with him, right? And he's still kind of sketchy about us. He doesn't really know what to think about us.
Okay.
So right here, he's saying, "Get out of my woods." But we were persistent, kept going back, kept leaving them apples, keep singing, the song that they sing. I sing to them, and the Ohio calls, and they kept coming back, always from the river up to the mountain,
Okay.
always.
And I want to talk about the relationship that you've sort of developed, but first I want to talk about what the picture that I saw that that's crazy is the picture of the Bigfoot print in the forest ground. That's when
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
The
And we
very
weren't
first
even
one we
trying
found.
to find that. I stumbled across that on accident. I almost stepped.
see it's hard to see in that photo. There's
It is.
ones where it's pretty clear that it's there you go.
That's Eric's
that's
baby.
the second one. That one's 17 inches long, 9.5 inches.
And there was multiple ones.
So-
He had a 5.5 foot stride.
Yeah, that's
we had
in
like,
stride. I
we
have
had about
4 or
four
5
really
foot.
beautiful prints.
That is amazing.
I jumped on this moss from
Okay.
the top of a log
Yeah.
to try to make any type
compress
of
it.
indentation. I couldn't do it.
Okay.
And I was like 270 at the time.
Uh-huh.
It would not leave a mark.
And this one is just
one
this
step,
one's
every
smashed into the
Right.
first part
wow.
Up to about your knuckle right here in deepness, usually.
That when I saw that, that's what I would probably shit my pants if I saw something.
of the I saw that.
If I'm out in the woods.
So that's right by where that's right by where the apple where we leave the apples.
Yeah.
So they were coming to get the apples when we got these prints.
That was the footprint, like right before he
And
got to
from
So
here,
how
from
big is? Oh, go ahead.
from here on in is when they started coming around, like
More
and
interaction.
playing tinkering with us.
Yeah, we're
Okay, how are they tinkering with you?
They throw rocks at us.
Like how big of a rock?
Just small ones.
like that? Because you could hear them whiz past your head because it's so dark you can't see your hand in front of
So
your face.
we're standing there. Okay, so here's the story about
so
that. Let
crazy.
me tell you. That we didn't document this because this is between me and him, and this is pretty good. So me and him, we're feeling pretty good. We're on a fresh trip here, and we're walking up there, and it's of course completely dark and raining. By the way, they prefer when it's raining really hard and cold.
Okay.
That's when they like
It's hard
to
to
come out.
hear walk in the woods when you're here.
But I mean, the times that we've had our best results, it's pouring ass rain and it's cold.
Okay.
the type of weather nobody wants
So-
to camp in.
So we're
Any-
walking up the road, and it's dark. We're getting ready to start. And, we're joking, if they come out, whatever, we're not going to be pussies and run and shit like that. So we walk up the road a little bit, and all of a sudden we hear from the top of the trees, and then something hits the road, and then it bounces and hits a tree over here. So what do? We turn around and run like bitches. Screaming and shit. And then, so we ran about 10, 15 feet and we slid to a stop. Wait, this is exactly what we said we weren't going to do. So we turn around and we go back out there again. Another it bounces, and while we have the light on the road, we see the damn rock bounce, and it hits the sign that we're standing next to.
Wow.
Right next.
And then we look at each other. We're not going to run. We're going to go back to camp, drink some more whiskey. We're going to come back out here.
We're gonna grab
Seems like the
night
whiskey just
vision
takes all the problems
camera.
away.
No, it does calm the nerves.
For sure. No, definitely. No, I agree.
I know.
We're out there with just a
I'm telling you,
flashlight.
if it wasn't
Normally
for
it's
that,
with the night vision.
I don't think we would have stuck around more than a couple of times because this shit gets pretty scary at night.
Yeah.
I would assume because, I mean, you're out in
In the middle of nowhere.
middle of nowhere.
Raining and
Yeah, you two only, right? I'm assuming.
No phone service.
nothing.
No.
wow.
No, thank you.
Anything works.
And it's pitch black. I mean, it's
the
really
darkest
dark.
I've ever been in my life. I mean, I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. I couldn't see a tree. I walked into many of them.
This
out
is
there.
basically the scene of every murder mystery.
Yeah, pretty
Pretty
much.
much.
Yeah.
Imagine that, and you have like a 2-inch little camera, a little eye hole that you're looking through, and you're seeing everything green, and it's just bright green, in this color right here. Where is it?
So it's all, you're mostly just in like night vision mode the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah, well, we quit using it because now they got
Because
the gist
now
of
that
it.
we know that they see that
They
spectrum,
don't. We won't ever get another.
yeah, he
they're
won't
smart.
pop in front of it. I'd have
They
to
see
find
it and they either they close their eyes or they move because that was the last time we ever got a glimpse of them.
What I
Okay.
think we should do is put the police cameras on a backpack, so when we're walking,
Or like a GoPro or something?
Yeah, that's
we
what
can get
that one
behind
guy
us
did.
because that's how a lot of people have caught them is by accidentally leaving their camera on their bag. and
Oh, no kidding.
Walking and filming, and you could see somebody peeking behind the tree.
Body cam that
Oh, yeah.
ass. Yeah. Okay.
And I accidentally, on purpose, walk the woods.
So-
and have one of those.
So one question I want to, all this is I'm pretty fascinated. Like I said, before coming onto this episode, obviously I have questions. And one, so what is really the origin of Bigfoot in general? Like, 'cause I've heard that it was at one point they crossed over from like a land bridge or something like that. Is that a credible, like what from your what is an investigation or just knowledge? Like, how did they just show about here?
It's hard. There's
Yeah,
a lot of different stories.
They're
about where
so
they come
old.
from.
They go way back to the Indian times. The totem poles that they've been carving around here have had Bigfoots on them for
Yes.
since the 1800s, 1700s. Who knows?
There's a great.
They were here long before we were, though. That's for dang sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
How
But
do you
their
think they've been
origins?
able to be so elusive?
Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah.
Well, there's apes that scientists had just found recently, like a year ago, that nobody knew even existed.
These things
that
are
were
sneaky.
5.5 feet tall chimpanzees that walk on 2 feet and use tools to hunt.
But every now and then somebody does get a glimpse, and takes some good pictures of them.
Okay, do you think that these guys, Bigfoot, up here, are using tools? Like
Yes.
To communicate,
you see
yeah.
In those kill boxes that you're seeing, are you seeing evidence of tools?
I think they
evidence of high
use
intelligence,
rocks.
so they
I know
have
they use rocks because another thing that's right that we didn't document was them leaving us rocks on the table,
Yeah, stacks of rocks.
Wow.
and only on our campsite.
Like the kind that we see, like when we go hiking.
Yeah,
we
you know
stack
how
rocks?
when people go around,
They
they'll
stack up
take a
rocks.
couple rocks
Yeah.
and then take pictures of it. Well, these are like random rocks that would
Right.
be stacked up on our picnic table only. All the
whole
campsites we
campsite,
walk because
yep.
it's completely closed. Nobody's around. We go walking, there's nothing there. We come back, there's a little stack of rocks.
So they're
up there.
communicating with you.
Yeah, letting us
and
know,
it's
hey, you're
peaceful,
protected.
obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think they like us. That time that the cougar ran away. I think that since it ran right in front of our tent, something spooked that cougar.
It sounded like a racehorse running past. It was in complete fear of its life.
Yeah,
it was a
it was running
heavy,
fast.
heavy cat.
Wow.
I think it was my fault because earlier that day I was being a dork and I was walking and we seen the den. So I went in there and crawled around and take pictures of it. And it smelled like cat piss. I knew there was a cougar's den.
Yeah, we got pictures of it.
So we go back to the tent. I'm still wearing
Yeah.
the same clothes I was wearing the day.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I mean, he was probably hunting it, and by the sound of it, this thing was fearful it was running from something
Fast.
Wow.
And I don't know what's gonna
Full
scare
speed.
a cougar like that. I mean, they go head to
And
head
then
with
for
bears.
them to run through
All
our
the time.
camp like that,
Yeah.
I don't know. So, this is, again, speculation, but something obviously spooked that thing to make it move
The
the
paw
way it did.
print of it was bigger than my hand.
It was big.
He was a big cat.
So okay, so you have you've seen him mostly in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Were you with Hector in Montana when?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just
you were-
wasn't on a snowmobile ride. I was in the cabin. He went on his own.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
okay.
snowmobiling.
So but the same like the evidence that it was Bigfoot, same type of tree
Yes.
structures, the pyramid.
Yeah. So all the pictures I took resembled what I have here in Washington. That's what it caught my eye. I mean, immediately. So, there's something I
It's
saw
hard to
before.
explain.
There's
I
another
mean,
one.
Trees, you'll see when there's a windstorm. All the trees fall one way.
Uh-huh.
They don't go one way and then another
Well,
tree
see,
falls.
that's what me and my friend were discussing. He goes, well, what about the wind? And I told him, well, if we start seeing these triangle things, that ain't the wind. And sure enough, 2-3 miles down the road, there was my triangle thing.
Which looks like
Have you guys run into any skeptics? Anybody that has looked at these pictures and said, "No"? I mean, maybe your friend was talking about maybe the wind could have pushed these trees down, but
Yeah.
how do you argue the big
the
footprints
toe
like that? Like
imprints,
that's
the foot. I mean, the way if you were there,
This
you
thi-
would be able to see the contour of the step. It's like how when an ape walks, he grabs the ground and then lifts.
Yeah.
You could see that contour pattern from the lift of that arch in their foot and the pattern when they walk and their stride.
And that last one, you could see when he jumped,
Oh yeah.
you could see the deepest part of,
The
he was
sand
leaning
splatter
this
from
way.
when you land.
When he jumped, he was leaning this way because he jumped from I'd say the base of a tree to the cove there, and then to the stump. So when he stepped, he landed like this, and when he kicked up like this, he kicked the dirt over with his toes and left nice toe prints for me.
Damn.
And you could see while he was in the rush, the splatter when you lift your foot, when somebody's barefoot in the sand.
Yeah.
That sand that gets trapped in your toes when you move, it's all gonna shoot forward. You could see all that in the picture.
Also, I backtracked him. He left me some tracks, and I backtracked him, and that's where I got the evidence that he was probably watching me for more than a couple of hours at least. He probably was there for quite a while.
Damn.
So do you before we were recording here, you were saying that your hope is that eventually they will become this Bigfoot family will become comfortable enough to reveal themselves to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I mean, what makes you think that they're getting more and more comfortable?
They're coming
They're coming
around.
closer and closer to us too.
Yeah, I could do that.
And
I
it's
could do my
not-
call in there. The last time they came down within 3 hours, I did the call at 6 p.m. and by 9 p.m. I had rock knocks and tree shaking. by
They're
my camp.
responding to our Ohio calls. Before we would
What's an
make the-
Ohio call? I saw that in the documents.
Ohio call is what they sound like when they communicate. It's
like
basically like
somebody like this. Oh! But really loud and
That's
really
an Ohio
loud.
call.
Yeah. And sometimes it sounds like a woman being murdered. A straight
was gonna say,
scream.
that made me a little bit scared.
Screeching scream, like blood curdling scream of a woman.
Yeah, my daughter heard one of those when
And
she was.
That's when they're angry or about to attack. You need to leave.
Right.
If you hear that,
Better
get
get.
the hell out of that area.
Have you ever captured that sound or a sound?
Yes.
Yes, I actually have a recording. I just got to back up again. So
This is where the juice is coming in right
I've
here.
actually had this analyzed and sent in to the BFRO, and Matt Moneymaker, the
What's
founder,
BFRO?
is a Bigfoot
Field research
yeah.
organization.
It's basically like the world-renowned Bigfoot research that has all the
Number one
hotspots in
site
the
where
United
everybody
States.
reports their sightings.
by
Okay.
county, by state, and how many sightings and what type of sightings. Because there's 3 classes. Class A is a visual.
Okay.
Class B is a vocal.
Or shaking trees,
Or
or,
shaking
breaking
trees.
branches, or rock throwing.
Class C is
Footprints.
like your footprints
Okay.
or your physical evidence, like a turd or something.
Yeah.
How do I pull up that?
Go
USB
here.
drive?
Here, we'll get you going.
Because I have a recording that was cleaned up and analyzed
Yeah, it was
by Matt Moneymaker, the
confirmed.
founder.
Would it be a
And he has a zoologist that works with him, and he couldn't figure out what it sounds. He knows what the first sounds are.
So
You guys will recognize the first sound because it's coyotes out in the back. But what you hear after,
is
I'll let you hear.
unexplainable.
Yeah, I'll let you hear it for yourself, and you can tell me what you think.
So
It's
the
ge- it's-
podcast, you're gonna be.
It scared the shit out of me hearing this because
I
I'm
bet.
out there at 1 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
smoking a cigarette on the porch. It's pouring rain.
Yeah.
I came out because I'm laying in bed and I had my window open, and I start hearing these coyotes just sounding off. I mean, going crazy like they're hunting. So I go outside to hear it more clear and start recording because it was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't hear that
Yeah.
often. Well, I got lucky enough to hear something in between the coyotes. Let me show you.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna take a listen to this clip and to Twitch podcast. You tell us what you think in the comments when we drop this this video for this episode.
What the hell was that? If you can turn this one up, you'll be able to hear it a lot clearer.
Okay, so
Analyzed and smoothed out.
I heard it.
Well, I heard a little bit of it. Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
kinda
what
went-
you're hearing is there's a coyote. So
You'll hear
Bigfoots are
the-
alpha predators, right? So they sometimes they'll
play that again.
they'll
We're gonna-
follow
we're gonna-
the.
We're gonna turn the volume up on that one.
First, you're going to hear the coyotes. Coyotes.
Okay.
Bigfoot.
Wow.
Imagine being out there, pitch black, in your front, and you hear this coming.
So how far do you think that was like away
That's
from where you're
far.
It was pretty far. I'm saying power lines
yeah,
because they love
wow.
traveling power lines, just
Yeah.
like coyotes. That's
Yeah.
where the deer hang out. That's where the deer bed. When it's an open field and bramble bushes and berries or fruit, everything out there.
Yeah.
That's where the deer's going to be. That's where the food's going to be. So coyotes are going to travel in a pack, and you'll hear them in the beginning, and you'll hear them, "Arr!" And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear this weird.
It was just really off comparison to
and
the wolves or the
guy
coyotes. I mean, you say so.
the guy I sent it to, the Matt Moneymaker and his analyst, he said that was. He couldn't explain it. He don't know
He said it
what
was
it
good.
is.
That's what
he
he
said. It
said.
scared him. It scared the shit out of him when he heard it.
He said that was good.
So I mean, Brett, just imagine being out there. I mean, you hear this type of shit.
Imagine
I mean,
walking your dog and you're walking down the power lines, right? And you hear that coming out of nowhere.
See, okay, I grew up in Montana, and the animals that I was aware of, I knew that with cougars you had to be very careful because they would sneak up on you. With bears, you had to
Be noisy.
yeah, you were careful around those, but wolves, you know, let them know that you're boss, let them know that you're bigger than them. You're gonna and
assert
know that they
dominance.
travel in packs so that you could be surrounded. So if you are getting surrounded, take some shots at them. I mean, you can handle all of those. This type of stuff, if this stuff starts happening around me and I'm way out in the woods,
Get the heck out of there.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to think of is getting out.
Get out of there.
Getting out.
Because like we've been working with these for quite a while, and you know now we feel comfortable.
I have
but
no fear of them.
I've seen reports in that area
fear.
where people have gotten attacked.
Yeah.
Okay, so
what is-
first? Wait, Eric, you're saying you're not scared. Why? With hearing that stuff, with seeing how much bigger they are and how aggressive they can be with the rock throwing and all the twisting of the trees, pulling trees out. Why aren't you afraid of them?
One day we were out there just on a family camping trip. I decided to see how much Jack Daniels I can drink that night.
awesome. When there's alcohol involved, it's awesome.
I decided to go for a walk up the cliff. That is probably
Oh,
about
yeah, I
a
remember.
90-degree cliff at 3 o'clock in the morning without a flashlight.
Oh,
I had no way of seeing anything. This trail is literally 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet up a steep cliff.
okay.
I made it all the way halfway up the mountain and all the way back down, and it felt like I had absolutely nothing to worry. Felt like I was being watched, but it also felt like I was being watched
If
over.
these things were, angry at us or wanted to hurt us, they would have thrown bigger rocks at us. They would have
I
been
had
real
to
aggressive. But they would have grunted at us. They would have howled at us.
So
But
talk
they don't
about
do that.
Some of the attacks. You said that there have been attacks.
Yes.
What are those like?
Well, I was watching a video on YouTube, and I don't want to say the guy's organization or whatever, but he was up there squatching in the same area because we saw the road that he turns up, and he went up there pretty deep, and he was hiking back up in there, and he must have hit a sensitive area or something because they chased him out by throwing big rocks at him and damaged his truck.
Oh,
Did he show evidence of that?
Yes, there was a log through the back.
Also,
literally,
this guy was the one that had the
4 feet
GoPro on the
round.
back. And
Okay.
he caught one of the squatches behind a tree. So when he was walking backwards, the squatch was watching him, and then the squatch.
No,
moved
those
behind
ones
the
I
tree.
would not feel comfortable walking anywhere.
Those are mean ones.
Near.
Those,
all.
and they're in the same area, and these are a different species.
Okay, so you're saying now there's different species.
Oh
of
yeah,
Bigfoot.
definitely.
Multiple.
Wow.
Definitely, because these are more are black from the video, but the ones that we've seen a picture of some lady that was hiking in our area, and she got a really good picture of it.
Yeah.
And these are brown and pretty big.
This thing is literally like 12 to 14 feet tall.
wow.
And
Or some
I
species-
tried to buy the pictures off the lady, but she was real. I don't want to sell them. I don't want nobody to know about this. People think I'm crazy. Okay,
That's always the,
And that's always like, for somebody like, kind of like to say like when it comes to UFOs or even this, like
right.
people
They're
don't want to
afraid-
sound too
they're-
crazy, right?
They're afraid
It's
to
a
come
stigma.
forward because people will think that they're wacko.
Yeah. But I mean, you have like, what you just heard, let us listen to with Hal. I mean, dude, just think about me being there freaking the fuck out if I heard that. Like, I'd be like, Brett, we need to get the fuck out now. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, we're going to post this up, if that's cool with you guys, just a clip of the audio. And you let us know. We
Sure.
definitely want to get people's opinions on that. So we're back from a little break. We just definitely had to, cool the jets and take everything we just heard
It
in
was
because
getting
it's
tense.
it's getting wild. But we're definitely going to continue on, obviously, and ask more questions. But one thing, so we were kind of talking about off the podcast, the Bigfoot diet. Like, what are some of the stuff that they like that that you put out, the next day it's gone
And don't like.
and don't like, dislikes.
First of all, it usually takes them more than 4 days to take the apples. I know
Okay.
this for sure because we've checked them and we've left apples, and then we do apple drop, and then we'll come back, 4 days later. We'll come back 10 days later. We'll come back 20 days later.
they want to
And
make sure nobody's
Nobody's
there
around.
to
Wow.
So
take hiding
it's-
seek
it's-
champion of the world.
And another thing is, we want to know when they do pick up the apples because we'd like to get into ghillie suits and go down there and watch them come get them.
Did
Exactly.
you just say they were the hide and seek champion of the world?
Yeah.
Is that what you-
I saw a shirt like that. I wanted to buy that shirt.
And
I
they
wanted
are.
to buy that
It is,
shirt.
it is no bullshit. These things are amazing in the
They're
forest.
so stealthy that you could walk right past them and not even know
know
he's
it.
standing there.
And
Damn.
again, if you watch that thing that I told you about, you'll see exactly how sneaky these little bastards are.
They have a lot in common with that movie Predator.
Oh, no
Oh
kidding.
shit! So you're saying they can blend in, like they turn invisible?
Not invisible, but to you, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they blend into the
Yeah.
forest so well
So-
because they have the moss
So
and
like
stuff
the
on
first
them.
time we were there and that Bigfoot was standing there, if it wasn't for the
Night
infrared
vision.
beam,
I'd have
we would have
never
never known he was there until he took off.
I think I have a video.
He
I
went
have to
straight
find
up-
it.
straight up
The
a mountain.
whole- I was recording
talk.
and stopped and
He went straight up the mountain, complete darkness, and it's pouring rain, and I'm talking a very steep incline, and he did this in complete darkness.
in seconds.
And we could hear him moving, thrashing the woods up the mountain. And then I look at him and I go, it's probably a deer. I was so scared I had to come up with something.
He was carrying a deer.
Man.
Okay, so they like apples.
Yes.
They like beef jerky.
Yes.
They don't like hamburger.
No. Any cooked meats, they don't like it.
And you know this because you
We
put
left
that out
fried.
there.
Yeah, we're trying to, see what they like.
Attracted the wrong beast.
Got you more.
It brought in the cougar because we found the packaging tore up, and there was definitely cougar tracks and cougar mouth Most of them, bites.
Come here, kitty, kitty.
Oh, wait,
Wow.
kitty.
So one theory. So you guys were talking about there's like multiple species, and Hector, you and I have talked about this offline. And one question I had, I've seen multiple kidnappings. If you look at all these kidnappings or missing persons.
Yellowstone is probably one of the ones that I've seen that has the most missing people, and they don't really like to mention it because it'll probably hurt their tourism. But the most people I think do disappear out of Yellowstone, and I've heard of up here too. But I've read things about them in the past, especially in the Canada. British Columbia area, where the Bigfoots and the Indians were at war, and they would come and steal the children and the women. And they made a pact with the Bigfoots then that they would not be at war, and they would leave the children and the women alone. This was like in their culture.
Wow.
So it kind of amazed me that they were having a war between the Indians back then.
Yeah, that's.
So is that like what tribe would you say that they were at war with?
I don't remember the tribe, but it was in British Columbia.
Okay.
Do you think it's certain species though that are more aggressive than others?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. And they're all over the United States, all over the
world.
world, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
Okay.
even found pygmy signs of that in Southern America.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Every place in the world has their unique
Australia,
species.
even the island.
In
Oh,
Australia,
really?
they're called yowie. I have a buddy
Yowie,
that
I
lives
heard that
out there,
before.
and he has a cattle ranch and he has a catfish pond. Well, every weekend he would go out and rewater and check the fence line. Well, he would start seeing that one of the fence would be pushed all the way in. The post.
Like a post.
Yeah, like somebody used it to push their weight over.
Oh.
And then there would be perfect footprints. And he's saying these are 24 to 25 inches and like 13 inches wide.
Yeah. Oh my
That's-
God.
that's-
I've done the post put posts in before.
It's fucking hard.
Takes everything.
And it looks like someone just walked up and said,
Oh my
pushed it in there
God.
like a cartoon.
And this is in
And
Australia.
this is in Australia.
Down under, mate.
He's been taking his cattle. So what he's been doing is every time that they have a miscarry of a calf, they'll leave that outside the property. And ever since he started doing that, none of his cows disappeared.
Oh, no
but
kidding.
there's traces that they've been there because the carcass is gone, and they leave like rocks or another gift to them for gifting them food, so they don't have to steal it.
So there's Bigfoot groups that you guys connect with, right? Do you guys connect with these other groups, or do you guys trade notes at all? Or?
No, don't trade notes. This is just for us. We don't want anybody to go in there and contaminate the progress that we've made so far.
Yeah. Okay.
These things are used to us and they're docile to this point. So if you got a bunch of people in there tromping around the woods looking for them, it might perturb them a bit.
Okay. But there are other Bigfoot groups that do trade notes.
Oh yeah, because
like the evidence, the categories.
right, just like the guy I was telling you about outside.
Yeah.
He's in the same area, and
I don't talk to him.
Sounds like he's a little bit.
he left
maybe
the area.
reckless.
He abandoned
he
it.
Don't go there.
He don't go there no more.
Okay. Yeah, he was scared straight.
Yeah, he ended up with like a 4.5 foot log through the back of his truck window.
It was a big,
No.
it was a big rock because it's on the video.
I'd be gone too.
Yep.
That's wild shit, dude. That is wild shit.
So you said that they document Bigfoot turds. What do those look like?
Bologna loaf. Really? Like the size of a bologna. Like a full bologna. Not cut. But
I mean,
like a deli bologna.
that would be a gold mine if you found one of those giant ass
That's
turds.
DNA.
And then you were talking about also with the families, the way that they are. There's 3 alphas. Those are the watchers.
They're
Right.
the
Those are the
enforcers.
yeah, those are the ones that do the
Security. They
Security,
chase you away. They attack anybody. They hunt.
Okay, and then the juveniles. They are the
the day
day
watchers.
watchers.
That's
Okay.
where they get their training before they go.
Yeah,
to the
and then
mountains.
I think we found a couple of places where it looked like they were a training place where smaller trees were being broken and
Like obstacle courses.
yeah,
Wow.
it's just like the bigger version but tiny.
Yeah, of the kill box,
Right.
but like
Or they're
obstacles,
in training.
they have to show them how to like run like.
How to break a tree,
Yeah.
That-
how to lean them.
Yeah, you're the one video you were showing, and make sure you.
This
have
is
it in
going
the
up there.
thing, but it was a grid system,
Right.
of trees put down to where anybody runs through this thing.
And we found multiple.
They're down.
And
We
it's hard
found
to
multiples
walk
of
through
these.
that thing. You let alone have something run through that. I mean, and as nimble and as fast as a deer. How are they going to get its footing in that?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
we
exactly
found
why they do
multiple
it.
kill boxes and all around that area.
We see beginning stages of kill boxes where the babies are mimicking their parents, making their own little tiny body line of being like, I contribute.
That
So-
is wild.
So let's wind back time a little bit. What was your first initial reaction when you saw these kill boxes, these triangles, like you say? Like, what was your first impression when you saw this? Because it's massive. Like in the videos, they're huge.
It is massive.
This is fucking awesome.
That was your first.
I didn't know what to think. I was like, wow, there's no way of explaining this. I mean, wind.
I
only
knew
blows
knew
them a
what we were,
certain
I
way.
knew what we had stumbled into. I'd seen some things, on the Todd Standing videos. I do get a lot of stuff from there. I do learn some, what to look for.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
And that big
signs,
sign was that
how to, be around them.
floating tree.
Well, one thing that is wild to me that is crazy. Like, okay, in human history, right? The pyramid is a symbol that we see all over the world.
Right.
And now I'm seeing Bigfoot use these pyramids as well. Do you think that there's any type of symbolism or any type of point
Definitely.
with that?
Definitely. So everything they leave in the woods is a symbol that we know what a boundary marker looks like from that portable one that they left us, and plus all the ones that we see in the woods.
Yeah.
So we know what a boundary marker looks like, and I did get an explanation on the boundary marker from one of the videos that I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
So basically, when they break it, they break a tree. It's like this, and then they'll break it something like this. This side is their territory. This side is your territory. Basically, is what they're telling you with that. Now, Eric brought an interesting point up to me the other day that he was watching a video and he saw what the triangles meant, and that's the number of the family in the group. And every time a new one is born, they add a
Graduation.
stick.
Initiation, they add one of their own logs, and the bigger the
No,
triangle, the bigger.
These are
No
these
kidding.
are just theory.
Okay.
We're still trying, to figure out, but that does sound good. It does
Yeah.
sound reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, why else would the babies be mimicking their parents? They have to learn to do it with a real tree someday.
Yeah.
So getting their practice in when
That's
they're young.
interesting. Okay.
That's just crazy shit.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about the lack of evidence that we've got. We will, if we're out in the woods, we'll find a deer carcass, right? Sometimes bones, ribs, antlers when they are what do you call that? Rutting, or what do you call that?
Rutting, during the
They
antlers
they
fall
shed
off?
their antlers. Yeah. We see dead bear. We see dead, evidence of dead. Well, all
You ain't gonna
kinds of
find no
wildlife.
Bigfoot bones.
So that, and why is it that?
Because they take them back. They have a like we bury our dead. They have some kind of thing that they do with their dead too.
Same like an elephant. An elephant, when it knows to die, it goes to a specific spot where all the elephants before it have died.
And it's been known too that when a Bigfoot dies, that others come and drag it away.
Okay.
So you ain't never gonna find no bones because they got their own little rituals or ceremonies or whatever they do with
Do you
their
think
dead.
we're gonna find Bigfoot bones or a cemetery somewhere?
Eventually, it's gonna have to happen, but
Unless
I don't
somebody
think it's gonna
stumble
happen
into it.
anytime soon.
Okay. And then so we've seen wildfires hit, and wildfires are so devastating to wildlife because they'll kill everything in its path, and sometimes, one fire's over here, one fire's over here, and the animals in the middle can't get out.
Okay, so here's the story. during when St. Helens went off, a family of Bigfoots got caught, and the firefighters found it, and the government came and took the bodies away. Never heard another word about it.
Shit.
Never heard another word about it.
I'm gonna Google that.
Do you remember
Yeah.
the Malibu fire?
What's
All that place in California, the Calabasas, everything burned, right?
Yeah,
Well, during that, there's a report on YouTube where a paramedic found what looked like to be an abnormally large human burnt, third-degree burns all the way up and down its body.
Okay.
So they transport him to the hospital at Cedars-Sinai. And they're trying to treat this thing, but it's not cooperating. They can't get him to talk. The doctors leave the room to go discuss what they're doing, and this thing disappears out of the room.
No.
All they see is what looks like footprints all the way out the door.
No.
Gone. It's all on a report.
Oh shit.
Oh man, I've never heard of that.
So we're getting closer. We're getting closer.
Yep.
And then there's a military story about one that was caught with rabies.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this
Oh, okay.
special forces guy tells this story online,
Okay.
where they're
Nice.
hitting this
I heard
thing
that.
with a 308 and taking half his head off, and it's still coming at them, ripping his soldiers apart in front of him.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, that's why I say the gun is not going to do any good
Yeah,
against
it's
these
not
things.
for
That's not going to
them,
stop them.
it's
All
for-
you're going to do is
Okay.
piss them off, and they're going to destroy you.
And we'll start another war,
Yeah.
like
Like
with
the
the Native
Indians.
Americans
Yeah,
up in
we break the
That's probably why they don't trust the humans, is because they always try to hurt them.
and it sounds like, I wonder if there's like with the elephants, they have the memory, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
too
It's
they
stories
seem like
passed
very
down like
intelligent
They
species.
they definitely have
ancestors that
memory
passed
because
over. They probably have that.
they definitely have memory because they come back for the apples all the time.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if there's any way, like, how we have early humans, we've had hieroglyphics, we've had ways of telling stories, even if it's just as simplistic as pictures. If they have ways of communicating.
They have to because when they hunt, there's whistles and grunts and stuff. That's
And when they chatter, it sounds like how when
Yeah.
deaf people try to talk to each other.
they do
That's
talk
what
to
it
each
sounds
other.
like when they talk back and forth to each other. There's been recordings of that.
Wow.
Man,
This is wild.
Like, I know I'm quiet on this one because I'm just trying to like absorb everything I'm listening to, and just like applying it to like kind of like what I've watched on documentaries. Because like you guys are going into detail, like some of this stuff, like the triangles. I never heard of that. I never heard about the incident in Calabasas. I never heard about the Indian, like the wars or the war, right? That they were going between each
the
other.
Indians and the Bigfoot.
That's all new shit. I've never heard of that.
Look up
And
totem
just-
poles. You'll see
Yeah,
in
definitely,
a lot
yeah.
of the Native American
Yeah,
totem poles from the south.
That's really
and from
embedded in their culture.
they
I
all
have
them.
Yeah,
Have you heard
of
about that, Brett?
Sasquatch being a part of Indian folklore? of the
Before
story,
they were
yeah.
revered as the god of the forest.
The guy of the forest. Okay.
And the teepees,
Triangles.
What do you think the Indians got
Look
that
at
idea?
that.
Yeah, it could be. I never thought of that one.
Crazy. Yeah. Okay. So I want to ask this just because it falls kind of almost in the same vicinity as just we have evidence of this of these things showing up. UFOs. Do you guys believe in that?
Oh yeah,
Seen one.
from Arizona,
You've seen one.
You've seen one.
Let's hear it.
Phoenix.
No, we got.
Let's hear it.
We got to hear this.
Okay, so I was in high school. I was talking on the phone with my girlfriend, and all of a sudden the phone got really staticky. And this area is renowned for UFOs.
Okay.
There's been, they've been around for a while. Well, anyway, so I'm on the phone with my girlfriend, and I'm just talking, and all of a sudden the phone line starts getting really crackly, and I could barely hear her voice. And all of a sudden, outside the house, it gets like bright white. So I mean, like daylight white, and it's already nighttime, so it's dark. But it looks like it's like a big giant spotlight that's on the house. So me and my dad run outside. And the only thing we saw was something go like this, and then straight up, and it was gone.
No way.
Man, I was in probably a freshman in high school when this. No,
What'd your dad say?
Junior.
What year?
And he didn't know what to say. It kind of freaked him out, but he said it was probably one of those helicopters, because the Border Patrol helicopters that go around there. But this thing moved way too fast to be a helicopter, and why would it make my phone like staticky?
Yeah,
For sure.
What year was this about?
I want to say 78, because I was probably to see, 78 or 79.
That is.
But and then also around that time too, my brother was working at a smelter, and something was hovering over the stacks that he put, like heavy sulfuric acid gas, I guess it was, and that thing was hovering over the stacks, and power shut down at the whole plant, and they did call the police department and report it. And they couldn't explain it. That thing just took off. It sucked all the power out of that smelter. And
No way.
And then it took off. And then once it was gone, the power came back on at the smelter. My brother saw this.
Wow.
He came home and told me about it. So, yeah, there's a lot of activity down there. I think it runs parallel with Roswell from where I'm from.
They even caught one on the news.
Oh, the stray lights.
No, I'm talking about the Haboob. With a spaceship.
Yeah, that was
A
a
Haboob
good
is
one.
basically a giant dust
I
storm
saw that.
miles long. Well, this one happened to be, looks like the trailings of this spaceship taking off, because they have it on the news. It's on the channel.
Right.
Okay.
Of this spaceship coming out of the sand and taking off and disappearing.
That was
And then
awesome.
it looks like a trail of just dust following it from just the sheer G-force that it had.
Okay. Wow. Enough about UFO. Let's get back on the big.
No, yeah, no, yeah, for sure. No, it's. I wanted to ask that just because. I wanted to ask that just because, like I said, it falls in the vicinity of that, and I wanted to see what your take on it was, because what's coming out now is like they're capturing these things on video. They're showing. Even the government said, yes, we've been, we've had a program. We still have a program dedicated to the activity that we're seeing these things, but. With Bigfoot now, like, I think you guys are right. There's going to be a point in time where we're going to run into like a solid piece of evidence that's going to be like, there is something out there. We don't know what it
Obviously,
is.
the government's hiding this.
There
Right,
it is.
exactly.
Hangar
Yeah.
22.
I don't know why they would want to hide something like this, but they are.
No, I would think they would want to hide it because they don't want a war. They know that a lot of stupid people are going to go out there and they're going to want to.
Try to kill one.
Like those
Yes.
idiots on Mountain
Yeah.
Monsters.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, that's just stupid.
It makes all the sense to me because you just have, your trophy hunters.
Right. Anyway, we're going to go kill one so we can prove they exist. That's a stupid
If you talk
thing
to
I've
the
ever heard.
old school Appalachian moonshiners, those guys will tell you. Those guys are out there 90% of their life making moonshine.
Uh-huh.
They've seen things that they can't explain, and they've been in the woods their entire lives. These are straight backwoods people where your ass cheeks
For
should
sure.
be clenching if you're walking near them.
That's yeah. No, I take that word for
So
it.
what,
From a person like that, for
when is
sure.
your next Bigfoot trip planned?
Well, we got the probably a family camping trip. Usually we don't, for that we don't really try to go out squatching too much. But
Yeah.
the first one where we're gonna get back into it again, it's probably gonna be in late August, mid-September. That's our first one, and then we go back a month later or 3 weeks later. In those parts of the winter, I try to get up there as much as I can. I like to get up there at least 3 times before we get snowed out.
Yeah. Well, and even the one that you went when you were in Montana, that was an accident, right?
Right.
You just stumbled.
Stumbled upon that.
And that's my neck of the woods around Glacier Park. with,
Now that you guys seen these triangles and stuff,
You'll
look
see
like,
it.
You're gonna be going on a family camping trip somewhere where you guys usually go, and you're gonna start seeing the signs and be like, "Oh shit!"
We gotta go. All you gotta do is walk out there, and you're gonna find all kinds of really cool stuff.
Yep.
That is so cool.
That's
Wow.
nuts. That is really crazy. Yeah. So, what's the main objective here? Just to kind of like get more information on just how everything works in the sense of like being in their territory and seeing how they kind of work as like, I guess you could say they're I guess it's like a little tribe of them, like just roaming around. Like you said, they have different, like the ones that are overwatching, the ones that are going to protect them. I mean, like, what is the main objective from all this? Like, what is your main goal?
Try to get them to trust me enough so that they come out and we could communicate better.
If you do get a picture, and you
It's not if I do
It's
it.
when.
It's when.
will get one.
Soon.
Will you come back on here if you
And
get a
show
picture?
us?
Will you share? Oh.
Sure.
Oh, one of me these skeptics.
Oh, that would be lovely. That would be lovely.
I mean, I already got some stuff that could make a skeptic think
Yeah,
twice.
the stuff that we've collected so far, some people have devoted 20 years to get to where we're at now.
Wow. 4 years.
We did it in
no
4.
sh-
So you would think that's just you guys being consistent and like going out there and
Right.
try to do your research and do all that, right?
Yeah, we
Not
don't.
giving up and being scared.
For sure.
And you guys are very respectful too. Like
Yes.
when they set the boundaries, you're not.
You're not going out there
No,
being
We're not
crazy.
trying
nothing
to
like
we
that.
don't
show 'em
violate their
We're
boundaries.
not trying to be mean.
You're
We're
bringing
not
them
trying-
gifts.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, wow, that's
It's not. It's not nice to go into somebody's backyard.
Yeah.
Bringing them a gift.
True.
Yeah.
We don't want to
So-
piss these off. These things are fucking huge.
I don't want to get ripped in half.
Okay, so
Yeah.
for other people that want to learn more about Bigfoot, what are some really good resources for people to?
Todd Standing.
Oh
Discovering
yeah,
Bigfoot
that's the best
documentary.
documentary I've
Yes,
ever seen in my life.
full-blown-
You could learn a lot from that video.
What's it called?
Todd
Discovering
Stanley.
Todd
Discovering Bigfoot.
Okay,
I can show you a little. Actually, you have YouTube right here.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to plug that up on the link or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
I
show
will
it.
send you the link.
we
to that.
I'm not connected to the internet on here.
because
pull it up on your phone and
Oh, yeah,
just show
because
them.
they have.
He's
the whole
got actually
documentary
some
on
really
YouTube.
good face shots of these things, and he knows how to interact. They've kind of accepted him into their little clan, and I've learned immensely from watching that documentary, and I'm implementing a lot of the things that I learned from him into what we do.
Okay,
That's the whole documentary's on.
okay, so it's called Discovering Bigfoot,
Yeah.
and
It has
it's
the
an hour.
renowned Bigfoot.
Yeah, this guy, he's
Okay.
top notch.
Dr. Meldrum.
I'm watching that
Okay.
tonight. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm watching that
That's
tonight.
him.
It's
That's
top
Dr.
notch. You're
Okay.
you're not gonna be able to sleep
That's one
after
of
you
the
see
pictures
this
he got.
thing. It's
Okay.
amazing.
Discovering Bigfoot trailer. That's Gravitas Ventures.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
I mean, there's some of the pictures. I mean, he has video of the full
faces.
faces, and you can see.
Don't even
Oh,
tell them. Let them see it.
That,
Let them
no,
watch
that's
it.
Yeah.
that's great. So
Oh,
anybody who-
it only gets better. We don't want to spoil it for you, but you're gonna see some stuff and say, "Holy shit! How do these guys go
Wow.
You'll
out
see
there?
A lot of similarities.
How
from
do
what
they
we've
go out
got.
there and do this shit?" And then you might think twice about going out there
Yeah,
yourself.
especially when you see the part
What?
where.
No,
like,
don't
in
say
the-
nothing.
in the very beginning.
say
I love it. Hector loves to keep everybody
Yeah.
in suspense.
I love it.
What? Okay, but when
Scary.
you what was the one? What made you decide that this is what you wanted to do? Like what
Nobody else
piqued your
was brave enough to
curiosity?
go.
That is mostly me because when I came here, the first year that I moved to Washington, it was in the local papers that a Bigfoot was going through the trash at somebody's house in Granite Falls, and the guy came out, and he got so scared he couldn't move, and this creature screamed at him, and then it took off in the woods.
Okay.
Well, they tracked it, and they tracked it back to Pilchuck, and it made the headlines of the Herald because I sent it to my dad.
Oh wow.
No
I sent
kidding.
the newspaper to my dad, and I go, "Look, Bigfoot's here. I'm on this."
Okay.
That was kind of
Okay.
like that's what sparked the flame right there.
So when I came here, I had interest in it, but it was that newspaper that put it in my head. I'm gonna go look for this thing.
Okay.
Wow.
So that was the start.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I never heard of that either. Living in Marysville, you would think you would hear something.
It
like
was
that
in the
come
Herald
out.
headlines. I mean, when I saw it, I'm all, "Oh yeah, I'm in the right place."
And Eric,
That
what
was
about you?
7 miles from my house where it was. But
He was telling me everything about it, and from the second I got here from Washington, it was less than an hour being here in Washington. We took a little trip on Whidbey Island and walked out on this pier, and 10 feet in front of me pops an orca.
you wasn't here not even 2 hours, and a damn whale pops up in front of him.
Then I go fishing one day, and an eagle drops down and takes the fish right in front of me in the water.
It's like National Geographic.
So,
shit.
I mean, we started. I had nothing but the best luck being here. So, figured I'm gonna go with him. Nobody else was brave enough to go with him to stay an actual whole night in this area.
Much less the weekend.
Yeah, and we went so so unprepared. I forgot the lantern.
No lantern.
The lantern was broken. It was an old kerosene lamp.
It was
Yes,
pouring.
yes.
So the only light we had was a campfire, and try to keep a campfire light
During the
lit
pouring
while it's
rain.
pouring rain.
Yeah, for sure.
We figured it out.
Took a big slab of a fallen tree, and it had that bark along the side, so I just ripped off what looked like a little tin head.
Like a sheet of bark.
Wow.
Laid
Put it
on
over
top,
the
and
fire.
just kept all night.
And that kept, the rain off of it, and then we were able to, underneath that bark, to keep the fire going until we got it big enough where the rain didn't matter anymore. And that's the way we did it.
You live and learn. I mean, you fucking learn, right? So that's
When
And
you
a little bit
have
of whiskey.
to, it gets
A little bit of
done.
whiskey.
No, it was a lot of whiskey that night.
Of course. That is awesome though. I love just like the how you guys got into it, because there's always like, you know, you find your, what you could say is, would you consider this like a hobby, like you like to do just to, like, you know, or more
Passion.
a passion. Okay, I dig it.
This is like bucket list type shit, you know?
Oh yeah,
Like
for sure.
once in a lifetime experiences, but we get it all the time.
Yeah.
I want to, just before we close this out, I want to hear that Ohio call one more time. That was just lovely. I want to hear it one more time. No, from you. From you guys. Yeah. Eric, Hector, you
I'm
did
the
it.
caller. All right.
Let's go.
Basically, that's it.
And then they hear that, and then they respond.
There's a song that goes with it. So the first night that it broke, the second time we started coming, we started singing this little song so we could distinguish ourselves from other people who are doing Ohio calls. So I don't know if it's the Ohio calls or the song that I sing to them, but I do both.
Okay.
And the last time, 3 hours, they were there.
Wow.
So that's how they recognize you.
The
pretty
song.
much, the song.
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
That is amazing.
That's like my password.
Yeah.
I love it.
And they come to the only one site that we go to.
Right.
Nobody else has had anything.
So
open.
one time we stood in another site, and then the next time we came, we found the rock, so we started staying in that site
Our
from the
old
terror on in.
site.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the original,
That
where we stay
one
all the time.
So you've had the rocks put on your camp tables.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other
There's no other explanation.
Campsites are all closed. The roads are all closed after winter. You can't get back there. There's 4 feet of snow with a rut that comes up to a truck bumper, and if you off the rut, you're into the cliff.
Right, it's
So
it's
there's
pretty
no way to
gnarly.
get back.
Once in the winters comes in, it's kind of dangerous because there are some cliffs in there that if you don't negotiate them right,
There's some scary cliffs out there. And it's
Interesting.
a non-maintained road. I mean, we were out for almost a year because a giant, like, 8-person tree derooted from the wind and blocked our way there.
oh yeah, they got shut down for every once in a while. It gets shut down due to nature, but they always seem to
Sometimes
come
you don't
back.
know if it's nature.
nature.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe they want the forest to themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe
Shut
it
the-
could
sure.
be
Mating
too.
season.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
It
man.
could be.
I feel like we can go all night and
This
really
is-
talk about
no.
this. This is really more than what we bargained for, Brett. Like I'm pretty like I'm gonna watch that documentary, and I'm definitely gonna keep out and watch like what you were talking about, the triangle, the sounds that they make. It's all really interesting stuff. But definitely, we want to thank you for coming by and
Yes.
sharing this stuff with us, because it's just really interesting overall. But is there a way people can connect with you, like they can ask you questions themselves personally, just trying to contact with you, or do
How
you,
about if we answer them through you?
Okay, cool. So just
Yeah,
very
through your
different-
podcast. and
Okay.
I could see Brad, and you can ask me the questions,
I'm
and
gonna
then he can
subscribe
come
to
back
your
and answer
channel
them.
so I can always answer their questions.
There you go.
Cool.
Eric will do
Comment
it.
on your thing.
Sweet. So
Okay.
yeah, definitely on the YouTube video, you can ask all your questions on that once this goes up on our YouTube page, and even on our comments on Instagram once we post up that this episode is out. And like you said, he'll answer any of your questions, and Brett will relay the message to him, and you'll get your answer. So
And
that's awesome.
I just want to thank you guys so much for coming through, doing this interview, and sharing these experiences, sharing everything the pictures, the videos, the
audio.
the audio.
Yeah, that was.
The-
I'm still thinking about it.
this is. I mean, yeah.
Thanks for having us. This was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a good time. I mean, like I said, just to really talk about, the topic that we're on right now and just really deep dive into it. Because, I mean, there's questions that I had that obviously I still have quite a bit. But, I mean, I know we're kind of on a time crunch. But, dude, this was honestly one of the best ones we've had so far. Like, episodes wise, with you guys coming here and sharing
So glad to
what
be
it
part
is.
of it.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you again. I mean, Brett, have we landed the jet on the fucking ground, and we're gonna call this one good? Or
I think we've left our imprint.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. So we're gonna wrap this episode up, and of course, follow us on Instagram for all the latest updates, and also the pictures and the audio that we're gonna post up in regards to this episode. Go check us on our YouTube page, subscribe, like, comment, and of course, like our buddies here mentioned, that you can ask them any questions you want, and we'll get your answers back to you. Yeah. But this is the Tip Touch Podcast. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.